Today we'll be focusing on how health insurance payers can use Kaleido to model, master, and govern information about the providers and physicians who deliver health services to their customers. This is a Kaleido business information model. The model captures requirements graphically, enabling business and technical teams to work from a common understanding of requirements so they can collaborate better than ever before. Kaleido offers a flexible provider master solution to payers, helping them govern information about healthcare service providers and the professionals that make up those organizations right out of the box. The blue squares you see define categories of master data, such as healthcare professionals, the accounts a provider maintains with the payer, and corporate organizational parents you see here. Notice the two lines that lead from professional to specialty. These represent relationships which can be named explicitly, the primary and AMA specialties, for example. Inside the blue boxes, such as professional, attributes may be displayed. Attributes are managed from a panel that slides open from the right, where properties such as data type, cardinality, and formatting are controlled. Payers often receive data about providers and professionals from multiple sources. For instance, the company's CRM system and external healthcare data aggregators. Those sources are represented by the light blue category boxes within the darker blue Source Professional category. Source Professional is a darker blue because it represents a supertype that defines the elements common across all the sources. In a similar fashion, a supertype has been defined for source accounts, distinguishing them between CRM accounts, facilities accounts, and outlet locations. All source accounts, regardless of type, may be linked to a group purchasing organization. All source accounts are linked to master accounts, also known as the provider organizations. Payers are able to link professionals and providers through professional affiliations. Of course, a professional may interact with the payer on behalf of several providers. Those different relationships can be captured here and governed by the payer. Definitions of categories and detailed metadata about their attributes and associations are captured in the model and displayed automatically. With Kaleido, once the model is drawn, the solution is deployed immediately. This includes generating the underlying physical tables, the rules to load and validate data, as well as the applications that data stewards and consumers will use to govern the master data. An analyst notices a spike in claims for the adult and pediatric urology group of Morristown, New Jersey. The jump is significant and red flagged for research by an analyst. The analyst logs into the MDM consumer application and locates the provider in question by navigating a web-style hierarchy which folds out to the right. The analyst notices that two facility accounts are linked to the adult and pediatric urology group. By selecting the urology group and then the cancer center, the analyst notices that each has a different address and different professionals. After confirming his suspicions of an incorrect facility roll-up, the analyst will make a request to remove the cancer center from the urology group's hierarchy. When he's finished, he clicks Send to route the request to the data steward. The data steward is alerted to the change request by email. The message contains descriptive information as well as a link to the MDM system where the data steward can review it. Once logged into Kaleido's provider application, the data steward is brought directly to his inbox. There is just one issue for the data steward to review. He can jump straight to it by clicking the hyperlink. Whether many records require his attention, or just one, clicking the link brings him to a review screen that summarizes the category, workflow state, state type, and the actions required. The data steward needs to review the issue to determine if the change can be made. If it can, he will submit it for approval. If it cannot, he will decline the request and close the issue. The reason for the subject having come to the data steward's attention is highlighted in red at the top of the page, and the issue text is detailed in the issue log. After deciding that the issue should be corrected as requested, the data steward opens the record for editing. First, the data steward will update the issue log. He changes the status to resolved, but he could have rejected it instead and returned it to the business user. Next, he types in a response to the issue, so both the user and subsequent approvers can follow his logic. Next, the data steward makes the change to the record. Seeing that everything else is in order, he saves the record. The data steward is returned to the main screen. Note the button to submit the record for approval on the far right. The Kaleido application placed that button there automatically because it knows that the record is in a workflow and the data steward will need to perform this action. The diagram shown here illustrates the workflow process. As we have seen already, a business user may submit an issue or change request on a record. Workflows are designed by your MDM administrators to match the data governance processes of your organization. And in this organization, the process calls for a data steward to review the request, make the change or reject it as appropriate, and then submit it for authorization by a data governor. The data governor will then decide if the record should be authorized and updated in the golden copy or rejected and returned to the data steward for further research and enrichment. We've followed the link and logged in as the data governor. As before, the data governor starts in his inbox. He sees the one record in the workflow from the facility category. Clicking the link brings him to a list view of the record. Here we see the record ready to be authorized and a summary of actions the data governor can perform on the record. Accessing the record is a simple matter of following the link. The data governor can review the issue log notes to better understand the request. He can also look at the audit trail of changes to the record by clicking on the Display Audit Trail link at the top of the form. The grayed out corporate parent value and the timestamp informs him of what changes were made and when. Kaleido keeps a full audit trail, and audit reports can be generated using a wide range of reporting tools. Now, fully understanding the change he's authorizing, the data governor clicks Authorize for publication. From there, the golden copy will be updated to reflect the value. The business analyst wants to confirm that the change has been made in the golden copy master data before rerunning his claims activity report. He uses a search tab to find the records that contain the phrase Simon Cancer Center and limits his search to the facility category. Seeing the record, he drills into it and confirms both that the change has been made and that his issue is no longer open. As this demonstration shows, Kaleido adds significant value to the process of maintaining a trusted provider master by extending governance beyond data stewards all the way to the business users who use provider data for analytics and operational purposes. Another key benefit of Kaleido's provider master solution is that it supports matching data from many different sources and integrating that data into the golden copy record when required, all while maintaining lineage about the origins of the data. Here we see the source professional category, where data about healthcare professionals who work with providers is received from various sources. The dark blue source professional category is the supertype that contains the information which all sources of data about professionals share in common. Each of the light blue boxes inside represents a data source, such as the internal CRM system or external data aggregators, and any unique attributes or relationships a source might have. In Kaleido's consumer interface, business users are able to browse the master professional's data as well as drill into its lineage from the source. The Category tab shows a list view of consumer records as well as the relevant selection of the models surrounding the professional's category. In the data below, note the External Source 1 ID column. This shows the record identifier from a particular source, Data Integrator 1, has been added to the golden copy master record. Users can also filter the data by typing what they want into the header of any column. The business user will type in the name of a professional and a guide whose claims were also flagged in the activity report. If we click on the link in Anna's record, a detailed view appears. Kaleido's Provider Master solution was able to link those source records to the master list of professionals using the Kaleido Data Matching module. A match definition is shown here. At the top are some selections about where the data to be matched resides, the staging table in this case, as well as some selections about match direction and how many potential matches to display and the minimum score which should be displayed to match stewards. At the right are the matching rules which have been defined. These rules are being used, matching by name, ME number, and finally by address. All the rules are currently weighted the same, 100%. However, those relative weights can be tweaked to influence the outcome of matches. In the center middle, we see the incoming source professional data being matched, as well as a preview of the suggested matches to records in the master list of professionals. Matching definitions are set up by MDM administrators and run in an automated fashion as new data is introduced to the system. Using these matching definitions and human stewardship, the Kaleido Provider Master solution is able to integrate data from multiple sources without having to write coded rules that are difficult to implement and tricky to change. Another of the many ways that Kaleido's highly automated solution will help your organization stand up a provider master in the shortest time possible with the lowest total cost of ownership.